time that I made you so mad last weekend. How you know that? Fuck. Tell me what you want from me. I'm not perfect, but I'm this, that, and this. I'm dirty, and I'm this, that, and this. You can search for this, that, and this. Make a little happy mess. Dirty, I'm this, that, and this. Take a surface to make a little happy mess. My pipe dreams. I'm not perfect, but I'm this, that, and this. Too dirty, and I'm this, that, and this. You've been searching for this, that, and this. Make a little happy mess. Offering it all, tell me what you want from me. Perfect, but I'm this, that, and this. I'm this, that, and this. I'm perfect, but I'm this, that, and this. You're dirty, and I'm this, that, and this. Eating barriers. Put your hands in the air like you really do care. Put your hands in the air like you really do care. Oh yeah. Put your hands in the air like you really do care. Oh yeah. Put your hands up like you give a damn man a fuck. Right there's where we made up. Let's head to Juno. Right there's where we're shit. Did the Kanye West. They do care. your hands up like you in a damn uniform. Fuck. No more of the zoomy juice. Every day, but there's nothing to say unless I decide to step inside of that cafe. Otherwise, it's best to keep my feet moving down the street. She's a hard bitch, she talks like he acts like a bad dog that got to the garbage. You ain't got to twinkle at the strings to make this puppet work. Be a game of patty cake, but it ain't like you don't know I sleep in that alleyway. So, bring her to the fight. Agitate, and you're properly addicted to all types of escape. Take it out on me, not your own, when you know you got your own closet full of hot bombos. Just trying to get out of this Minnesota cold. That's so crazy. So I'll play some suicidal daily. Fuck. And transport me to the ever after Africa. Come back to earth like a cockroach in your tip cup. Jesse's had enough to hear she's gonna call authorities if I don't disappear. It rejuvenates my brain. Gonna pay me up and I wanna prepare coffee and stay honey bun. I'm thinking what she calls people. But she notices my absence if I'm absent as I don't come. It's corn chips. Ignoring the insults and evil eyes. Feed off of them. I wonder what she realized. That she's the only reason I visit, the only one of my wonder like what is my existence. I'm doing good, Sway. How are you doing today? Thank you for stopping by and checking on me. Just tired from work. Chilling with some racing. Hey Ann, how you doing? Ain't nothing much. Just tired from work. I'm glad you're having fun with some Cold War. But I'm just tired, Ann. Hey, Redundant. Thank you for stopping by. What's up, girl? That's good to hear. I'm just trying to make it to Friday, man. You sure you're still not out of that nap mode? Well, yes and no, and yes and no. It's not so much work. It's also just kind of what life is like right now. You and your anxiety redundant. You did it to yourself. You got nobody to blame but yourself. But you know, and not only are they working me hard, it's just current circumstances. Like I got no choice. So it is what it is. But I like my boss. He's not trying to overwork me. It's just the workload is overworking me. Like I've been complaining to him about all the product that we've been getting inside the store, but not in a bad complaining way. Like bringing it to his attention. I go away for lunch today, and I'm thinking everything's fine. I come back from lunch, and all the work I did was undone because some other manager came in and told somebody else to do something that actually did not help. And to top it off, I came back to a bunch of like a shit ton of product out of nowhere because we had a truck today. But like they were telling people to hold off and not send it up, but somebody decided to send 11 flats of product. So I came up to have to clean up a whole fucking floor, and I only had 2 hours to do it. And let's just say that was not enough. The first thing I did is I told my boss, I said, look, you see all this? I told him exactly what happened. I said, now, I told you what I was supposed to be doing. And I told you what I wanted to do today. That ain't gonna happen. I told him just like that. And then, he's trying not to overwork me because I'm doing 6 days a week now. I used to stay like an extra hour longer, but I'm not doing that anymore because that 6th day will basically make up for it. And I'm not trying to burn myself out. I've done that before. But he's gotten to the habit where I usually stay an hour longer, and I keep on reminding him like, yo, didn't you tell me that you wanted me to leave at the normal time so I don't burn myself out? Just reminding him. And like it's always that disappointed oh yeah from him. Like he likes me as a worker, and he's not like he's really not trying to be rude about this stuff. But like it's just hectic all around, and like there's more to it, but like I got no choice. So I'm just trying to get to Friday. I'm absolutely burnt, and I'm just 2 more days. But I'm not off Friday. I just get paid Friday. I get paid every Friday. So it's more like I'm just like trying to alleviate some stress, and payday is Friday. Might treat myself and buy a Hot Wheels game and just relax after work as best as I can. So it's been a series of hell of a days. It hasn't just been one. It's just trying to tough through it. I've been through worse. It's just you never enjoy going through it when you have to go through it. But yeah, for the most part, things are Gucci. I mean, like outside of that. So you know, it is what it is. Oh shit! Come on, cop. But yeah. Sorry if my mood isn't as cheery. I mean, hopefully something crazy happens on my stream that just kind of like, you know, gives you that burst of energy that you never expect. You know how that is. There's always those energy reserves that come out of nowhere. I know you hate that phrase, and I've literally so like you hate that phrase, and I understand why you hate it. But literally, for me to keep on going on, and I've had to adopt that phrase for my own sake. Like I'm going on. I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I've been in levels where I've been under so much stress. It could basically like you already know this because you say that you don't peg me as a guy who could be, on medical marijuana. Uh, I'm unmedicated. I've been going through my problems unmedicated, and it sucks. So I use that phrase just to kind of keep me going. It's what I gotta do. I know it triggers you, and I know it hurts you, and I get why it does. But please excuse me when I do it out of habit. That's not, I don't use it for that same way as you do. It's literally just to help me keep going on. When you live a life of where you felt like you were always alone and had to do things on your own, you only have your own self in your own corner. And I know I'm not alone now, but it's engraved in me to kind of let go. You've just been around the wrong people who have said it. When you have a good person who says it and uses it in the appropriate terminology and how it's supposed to be used, it literally is a self-encouragement thing. It's just exactly. So there's only one thing I ask, just because it's still up and I don't know how to really disable it. I am not in the mood for sit-ups and push-ups today. So can people do me a favor and just be nice to the streamer today and don't redeem Tubby Tubbies? I am burnt out. That's the one thing you guys gotta understand. Like, I do extra workouts here on the stream, but my job is my workout. I was not paying attention. No Tubby Tubby, gotcha. But thank you for the water. I do have water next to me. I have to get more in a sec. But yeah. I'm sorry, Ian. Like, I mean it in the most supportive way, and I mean the reason why I'm saying I'm sorry is because I understand what it's like to have certain things be said and they trigger a sense in you. I totally get that. And so, I'm apologetic for your sake because I get it. I get how that is, especially since you shared it with me. I understand now. I just want you to understand that that's not how I can clearly see it in beans as well. That's not how we use it, and I'm gonna be honest, that's not how it's supposed to be used. The way that Beans and I use it is the way that it's supposed to be used. It's always been a self-encouragement thing, so I'm sorry for that. I kind of like the skyline. I know what it's like, man. But what has so when it comes to me, the way I grew up in a household where I was basically always told to shut up. Like, they acted like I had a voice and I had an opinion, but in reality, the instant I said anything that didn't agree, I was told to shut up. And so, for a while when I got out of my parents' household, I was a very brash person. And I basically would put people in their places, like, out front, and a lot of people saw that in me as a person who was just anger filled. And the truth of the matter is, I was so pissed off about how the life I lived that I projected it out into the world, and I was like, no, I'm not dealing with it anymore. So in a sense, there was actual times where I came across people who basically wanted to talk, and they probably didn't come off as rude as my own parents, but I would pop off on them because I was like, nah, because then it's just gonna come into some additional bullshit that I don't want to deal with. So I know what it's like to have things that have basically have made you grow a certain way. It's almost like, people who put string around trees and make them bend a certain way. You have those knots and ties around your life, and they force you to grow a certain way, and it can become very detrimental to yourself because it's like you find yourself in a heightened fight or flight mode in these weird situations where you really shouldn't be in. Like at the end of the day, these are just words, but they trigger an innate sense in you just to react. So I get it, I honestly do. The way I grew out of it is time. I realized that a lot of people, especially some close friends that I lost, stuff like that, noticed that there was a change in my demeanor, and it wasn't who I wanted to be. I really wanted to be the peaceful guy that you guys know as now. That just chill, wishes you the best, like that. I've always been that way, but there was a time where like it just fucked me up so badly because of the poor relationship I have with my mother and my stepdad that I lost that part of me, and I wanted it back. So it just took time. It's not something that you're gonna get over with. And now I'm gonna be honest, there are times where I outburst still. It's just one of those engraved things, honestly. It's just you become more aware of it, you learn to cope with it more, you learn to accept it, you learn to understand where the source of it is, and just realize that even though that has been a part of you, you know how to move on from it because you're willing to understand that none of it was your fault. It was things that other people did onto you, and it does not determine who you are in this world. I just wanted to finish that speech without see? I understand that completely. My stepdad used to call me a boy all the time. He called me a boy and that I didn't do anything, and that I didn't grow up a lot. Like I always did things of a childlike demeanor. Might I have you know that this was very conflicting for me because I was a 4.0 student all through high school on my own. Nobody trained or taught me. The only ultimatum I had was that if I did poor, so like that was the ultimatum I had. But essentially, I didn't have to worry about that because I became I did all that stuff on my own. That carried on into my first 2 years of college. There was a time where people weren't hiring at all around me, and my stepdad used to berate me and say, "Hey, you're not even looking for a job," even though I went out every day, even though I applied to a job every day. Like for a solid 6 months, nobody hired me, and this whole time I was getting shunned as a slacker, a person who didn't motivate himself unless it came to video games and stuff like that. And on top, just to have you know, I really didn't game a lot in that house either. I could only play for like an hour a day, and that was only if other stuff got done. So if I had homework, if I had chores and stuff like that, I didn't game. So like I was getting told that I was a slacker gamer who wasn't motivated to do anything but play games, but I didn't even have time to play games. What I was. Thank you, Sway. What I was a person who was a hard worker. I was a person who was self-motivated, tried to get things done as best as he could, try to get a job. Like I took care of my little brother, so I was already basically being a parent at a young age. Like the list goes on. But when you have people who are supposedly close to you, people you let your guards down around you, who are supposed to be family, who are supposed to be close friends, maybe significant others, they know how to get past those barriers and they can really fuck you up. So I get it. It's just something that you work on and you never really get over it. You just deal with it easier as the days go on. That's both to you, Redundant, and Anne, if she's still here listening to me. I know I can get really deep into conversations and kind of go on and on, so I don't know who's here, who's listening or not. But hey, I save these for people if they want to come back to it. Well, The way I see it, in is you were made to assume it's your fault. When the few things I've heard you talk to me about, like I said, it's like somebody I was raised. Yeah, the way I feel is about how it feels like I said once again, tying strings around trees. You were forced to grow a certain way. And the hardest thing about dealing with stuff like that is because the way I've noticed is if you let a person just grow, let's say if it was possible for somebody to grow without any outward influence, you'll develop your own. You'll learn yourself. The only person who knows you the best is yourself. You'll develop a character. You'll develop a personality. You'll have likes and dislikes. These are things that you develop on your own. But when you have outward influences and people like almost mangling you and twisting you a certain way, what that ends up doing is, let's say, like I said, let's say we have the uninfluenced person, but you become influenced. So let's say you have two trees that will both grow the same way if they were left alone, but you start mangling one, it's definitely going to look different than than the way it would should have grown. So I always feel like the reason why people start having traumas and start dealing with things horribly is because there was a certain way that they were actually supposed to grow. There are certain things that you start realizing yourself, you're like, damn, this just doesn't feel right, and it starts conflicting with who you are as a person inwardly. And so the reason why we develop these things that like become like coping mechanisms or innate ways where we start accepting certain things about our stuff, saying like it's always my fault, is because we were warped that way. And it's like just to move on and keep on going to the next day, we accept those as part of us. We accept them as part of us. The biggest part of growing away from those things is realizing that that's stuff that was done to you. That's all it is. And the acceptance of that is what helps you start growing and moving on. You gotta start realizing that there was a way that you were supposed to grow, and it's not like, I lost time. I can't. No, unfortunately, we can't change the past. But if you continue to live the way you do and continue to accept these things and let them stay in your life, you're not gonna grow properly anymore. Either. You still have those ties around you. There's still a chance. There's always room for growing. There's always room for change. It's just learning to be like, alright, this is why. This is why when I was younger, like, I grew a certain way. It was because of this, that, and the other. And it's in no sense of the word easy. You're going to come across stuff that is really dark and deep. And it's going to be something that is going to be almost, I mean, damn, some traumas I've had to deal with have almost caused me to vomit, like IRL. It can be a very emotional turmoil thing to deal with. It's just, the crazy thing is that you have to accept those things. There has to be a level of growth and acceptance. So all the assumptions and stuff like that, realize that the reason why you feel the way you feel, which there's nothing wrong to have those emotions, but they're coming from something, but they don't have any part in your life either. That's not who you are, that's not who you want to be, that's not who you're gonna be. A lot of people like to take those things and just run with it and be like, well, I get that way sometimes. Oh man. Accept them. So, I think you and Beans don't know about it, Ian. So I think I might send you a link of a video. Ah, god damn. Fuck. Uh, it says I'm still broadcasting. Hold on. Stream has died. Okay. Can you still hear me? See gameplay? No. Okay, yeah, this has happened before. Give me 1 second. I'm probably gonna cut off the stream and come back on. I'm gonna say something to you, Ann, so maybe just hop back on here for a second. I'll cut this off and try again. Cause it's still I'm still broadcasting, but it's just bullshit.